right.
So,
here we go.
We got that as a
shut up so I don't have to
Discord.
recut the open.
This is Sean Payton, head coach of the New Orleans Saints. What's with this Saints Happy Cast? This has to be the worst Saints podcast in the world. Ralph can't say anyone's name right. Andrew doesn't know football. Everyone has a hard time listening to Dave. And is Kevin even there tonight? The audio with this podcast, my God, the audio, it's painful.
All right, everybody, welcome to Saints Happy Hour podcast. We started it on the mini podcast yesterday, Instant Reaction, but I loved it so much that I'm playing it again. Nerds, you can suck it.
There was an obvious amount
Oop, that's the wrong one.
Where are they? I think they're talking about us.
We are.
No way. Come on, Lewis, let's go.
I think we need, Dave, you need merchandise. Suck it, nerds. T-shirts, hats, koozies, blankets.
That might be. I think
Snuggies.
That might be copyright. That might be copyrighted.
Might be. But this was amazing. All the haters, they're doubling down because they just want Taysom to fail so goddamn much. Dave, you were there yesterday. How euphoric were the people about Taysom Mania?
I was there. I'm happy to be there. I was excited to go to this game because this was a preview of the post Breeze era, little sneak peek. It went very well, fortunately. There's only 6,000, 9,000 people there, so it's really hard to gauge. I mean, obviously everybody was happy, but it wasn't. It certainly would have been a lot more fun if 65,000 of my other friends were there at the same time.
Oh, Brady picked off. Sorry.
Andrew's about a minute behind.
I'm watching on my phone because I'm doing this podcast. I don't have a TV in this room, and I need to get a TV in this room. Actually,
you do.
But it was great. It was great. I enjoy going to the game when there's limited fans. It's very relaxing. It's a no stress, no stress environment. You kind of just do whatever you want to do. Other than the ushers just constantly yelling at people to put on their masks and pull their masks up. I've enjoyed it, but I do miss having everybody else there. I look forward to the day when we can get together and all yell and scream.
Can you give us a sense real quick, just volume wise? I know it's hard to compare, but is it barely any energy at all, or do you feel like there is some noise?
Yeah, personally, I think it's very minimal. Like when they go into a song and play music or whatever, that's significantly louder than any of the cheering that that we could put together. It's they still do the thing where they say, "Oh, that was a fan impact play," and I'm like, we had nothing to do with that.
You're like, no,
we had absolutely nothing to do with that guy jumping off sides. He's just an idiot because he could hear Taysom Hill every single audible possible. So
my friend who goes
no, it's not loud at all.
My friend who goes to the games described it as, think of it like the last 2 minutes of the fourth preseason game. That's pretty good. That's the level
at
of volume.
Its apex.
At the apex, yeah.
Think of it like a Tulane game.
Oof. Kevin, were you able to watch the game?
Yes, I was.
Oh wow.
Kevin, stop touching your fucking microphone.
We got Kevin a microphone, a headset, and like any other attempts on this podcast to improve the audio, we actually made it worse. # on brand. The only thing
I had this headset and microphone on another podcast, and it worked fine.
Yeah.
It worked fine.
It did.
Chin strap.
It did. Chin strap. The only worse investment than that was my ring light that I bought for Channel 4 that made me look orange today.
Or when you spoke into the Yeti mic backwards.
Yeah, that too. That might be an all-timer.
I didn't get to see your interview this morning. How did it go?
It went okay. Me and Paulson. They actually.
Oh, Paulson was back?
Yeah, they moved me back to 6:45 because I can't name names, but like the Muckety Mucks at Channel 4 were like, he needs to be with Paulson. It's better television, and that they put me back with Paulson. So.
Wait, did this have to do with my text? Did I make this happen?
No, it had to do with the Muckety Mucks at Channel 4.
All right, well, sounds like the Muckety Mucks have a good head on their shoulders.
So, listen, we started the show, Andrew, with laughing at the nerds. But Sean Payton dunked on the nerds today in his Monday press conference. He did it gently, but if you pay attention, he really did dunk on them.
There was an obvious amount of attention drawn to it, mainly because I think most who cover the game thought it might be Jameis as opposed to Taysom, and then of course those people covering the game don't want to be wrong, and so that there's a reaction when their thoughts are not true, or in other words, there's a reaction when you think something's going to happen and it doesn't, then it must be the wrong decision, and so, but no one else has again all the other stuff taken into account, and so that's what it is.
I mean, Kevin,
and they're nerds. They're nerds. That's what he's saying. You're all a bunch of nerds.
Kevin, he needed to cut a wrestling promo yesterday after that game, right? He needed to strut in there like the Vince McMahon gif and just let people have it, right?
No, that's our job. That's Saints Twitter's job.
He did retweet Roddy White.
Exactly. That's what he needs to be doing. I'm going to have one extra button open on my button-up shirt so you can see that I'm wearing the Roger Goodell clown T-shirt, but I'm not going to display it completely. You're just going to know what it is. Like that's how he needs to be, and that's all he has to do. It's perfectly fine. Let us be the raving lunatics. Let Saints Twitter go after Roddy White, Mike Tangiers, whatever the hell his name is, the Chris Sims,
Twitter
the
was
Florians,
dragging that guy.
And all those other jackasses.
They're still dragging that guy. He's like the new Chris. He's like off-brand Chris Sims. Saints Twitter was on him yesterday and today, and he was not backing down, which makes it more fun. I had never heard of him until yesterday.
Mike Tanger outlet.
Yeah, like the outlet. But as for his actual performance, Dave, the thing that surprised me the most is he was really, really way more accurate than I expected. Like, I expected him to be like maybe 60%, 65. Hit some big plays, miss a bunch of guys that like drive us crazy. We're like, Taysom, he was open. Why'd you miss? He was 18 of 23. That was like breeze accuracy, Dave. I was really surprised at that.
Yeah, he was pretty efficient. I got to give him credit to that. I mean, I feel like in the first half, they kind of, the play calling, I think, was designed to help him get comfortable, and there was a lot of short stuff and all that. But he was efficient, and Mike Thomas dropped one. He could have been even more efficient.
Yeah. Kamara dropped the screen too.
Kamara was going to get blowed up on that screen though. Like that wasn't.
Well, you still gotta make the catch. But he was very efficient. You give him those two, and he's only missed 3 passes, which is that would be pretty damn incredible, considering the guy can also run like a power back.
Right.
But I mean, I'm not gonna nitpick it. But if you were gonna nitpick it, obviously the fumble, he's got to clean that up. And I just
the near pick inside the 5, that was a little dicey.
Yeah, I mean, I think that he for the most part makes the right decisions. I feel like he holds on to it a little bit long. You just gotta get rid of it. He's just gotta make the read, make the decision, get the ball out.
He's going to take off with that quarterback power. He's at the 30 to 25, nearly steps through, fumbles the football. Trying to get back on top of it, and the Atlanta Falcons recover that ball. So Taysom Hill.
Why are we doing sad Saints play-by-play from Zach Strief?
Oh.
I mean,
I just realized what that was.
I mean,
I opened up a box score of the Saints Falcons, and they have a video player in there that just starts auto playing with plays from the game.
Jesus.
Oh, okay. I thought Ralph was playing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so did I. So did I. I apologize.
Why are we doing sad Zach Strief play-by-play? On brand. But here's the thing that I hate to do, but I got to do it. I got to play this Payton soundbite. Andrew, I'm playing this soundbite for you because you have said all along about Taysom, listen, they see things with Taysom in practice in the last couple of years that we don't see because he only gets 5 plays a week.
Here's what no one else is privy to, and it's hard because what the fans and other people are privy to is the special team snaps, the Wildcat quarterback snaps, the tight end receiver snaps. They don't, get a chance to see the same snaps that we might see throughout the course of a year take place that aren't necessarily game snaps. So it wasn't by any means an easy decision because I feel like we have 2 real capable and really good quarterbacks that are in the building already, and so a lot went into it, and that's kind of how we arrived at it.
So, are you going to take a victory lap, Andrew? You've been saying that all week.
Yeah. The thing for me is I didn't really have a strong preference between Taysom and Jameis.
I did. I wrote 1,500 words about Jameis on Wednesday. I had a very strong preference.
I just wanted to win the game, man. I just wanted to beat the Falcons, and that's the thing. Like, as I've had time away from this, I mean, I still want to poke fun at the analytics nerds and all that, stick it to them, the national media, all that. But at its core, I just wanted to beat the Falcons. And the bottom line is, I know this is going to hurt some people's feelings that I trust Sean Payton more than them. I trust Sean Payton's evaluation on the practice field more than some dude on Twitter and who he thinks should start at quarterback. Like, sorry, bro, I'm rolling with Sean. And he might be wrong. Like, that's not to say that head coaches are infallible and that they don't make mistakes. But he's seen these 2 guys at practice, and he felt strongly that Taysom was the guy. And for me as a fan, my job is to mock the Atlanta Falcons and bathe in their sadness.
Speaking of that, Dave,
so it was great.
I think Cam Jordan has retired the crown of all-time Falcon killer. Like, it's not like we can't even argue that shit anymore. Like, he's number 1, and whoever's number 2 is miles behind him. He's having a dreadful year. The Falcons come to town, 3 sacks. Dave?
That was for me?
Yeah, it was for you.
He did say Dave as he began his sentence.
I didn't hear that.
Do you agree with me that he's now officially the all-time Saints Falcon killer?
Yeah, I know. I heard everything other than you starting that whole thing off with Dave, so I had no idea that was for me. I mean, it's hopefully this was the final pull on that lawnmower, to get Cam Jordan started, so he stays running for the rest of the season. I hope this isn't like a one-time deal where he just gets 3 sacks against the Falcons and then disappears again for another 6, 7 games. But it's nice for him to show up at least temporarily. Obviously, we got to talk about NFL sack leader Trey Hendrickson, right?
I mean, yes, we do.
Ralph, can I think in the chat everyone's saying you need to boost up the volume a little bit.
The volume is as loud as it can go. That is a chat person issue. I know the same 3 people complain about it. It's as loud as it can go, people. I'm feeding it out in OSB as loud as it can go. No, Trey Hendrickson, if he's the NFL sack leader at the end of 2020, and I want you all to answer, where would that rate on the ridiculousness Saints scale of craziest shit we've ever seen?
I'll go first. I would put that number 1.
Okay, why number 1? Since Ralph ducked out here for a second.
Go.
I just, if you had asked me what were the most unlikely things to happen this year, I would put Marquez Callaway leading the NFL in receiving yards as more likely than Trey Hendrickson leading the league in sacks. And it's nothing against the player. I've liked him all along. I just leading the lead in sacks, having more sacks than Aaron Donald and Von Miller, who I know ended up being hurt this year, but Khalil Mack, just all those guys. Like right now, the top 3 is Myles Garrett, Aaron Donald, and Trey Hendrickson. You tell me which one of those 3, sounds odd to you. I don't know.
Dave,
like,
I mean, where would this rate
it's like Dwayne Washington leading the team in rushing.
I mean, it's almost as ridiculous as Torrance Small having the second greatest Saints receiving day in history 26 years ago in Denver, the last time the Saints went to Denver and beat the Broncos. We'll get to that later.
26 years ago, right?
Yeah. Jim Everett threw for 343 and 3.
But it's almost as crazy as getting your entire 2012 season destroyed by Bountygate allegations and having your coach suspended for a year and some of your players suspended for half a season. It's almost as crazy as that.
That's a fair point, Dave. That is a fair point.
All right, now we got to talk about the thing that I've been wanting to talk about. The reason Taysom Hill is the Saints starting quarterback is because in 2017, 80-year-old Mike Westhoff, the special teams coach, saw Taysom come out the shower buck-ass naked and said, "Oh my God, he's gorgeous. I need him on special teams, Sean." And that's a true story, man. And because of
you
that,
didn't hear this?
of that, Taysom Hill is
well,
now probably the Saints quarterback of the future. And
hold on, Ralph. For those of you who haven't heard this, and it's on YouTube, but it's this woman who's good friends with Mike Westhoff, and she tells the story on YouTube. It's fantastic. Find this link. I mean, find it, send it out, fire it out in the chat, Ralph. But she basically, the story goes that Mike Westhoff is in the locker room. He's standing next to Sean Payton, and Taysom Hill is completely naked, coming out of the shower. And Westhoff just grabs Sean Payton by the arm, and he goes, "Who is that guy?" And Sean
What kind of Penn State bullshit is this?
yeah. And Sean Payton goes, "I don't know. He's one of our practice squad quarterbacks." And he's like, "I want him on special teams. Give me 1 week." And so he gives him to Westhoff because he's like, "Sure, whatever." Like, hey, he's on our practice squad, whatever. And so he gives him to Westhoff, and then he blocks a punt. So he gets a tackle on the opening kickoff, then he blocks a punt, and Sean Payton's like, "I've seen enough. I want him back." And Westhoff's like, "You can't have him." And so they start arguing over that, and it all happened because Westhoff saw him naked. After having a shower.
Westhoff is like an 80-year-old man with a cane, and he saw a gorgeous Mormon man and was like, "I need him on special teams." And I totally forgot. I wanted to have the sound clip of the old guy from the Family Guy, but I forgot to do it. So that's bad on me. But still, I think when Taysom makes the Hall of Fame, Kevin, he's got to have Westhoff if he's still alive, and he's got to tell that story. Like that's got to be in the video montage when he goes to Canton, right?
How you doing there, Coach Payton? I'm liking that mountain man who just came out the shower.
I mean, what's the deal? Westhoff.
He's got some nice legs on him. He's probably big and strong. Digging his heels in real good. Making nice tackles.
Nailed it.
All right. Can I have him on my special teams?
Well, the thing is, the story comes from Westhoff. Like Westhoff,
right.
This woman is telling the story from Westhoff. So he was the one that was excited and thought it was funny that basically
Is there like
him seeing Taysom naked made Taysom.
Yes.
This is
Well,
this is Westhoff's
We need to get that woman on the podcast.
Is
We
there,
do.
is there like a correlation between like penis size and special teams ability?
Maybe.
You know, she never mentioned his manhood, just that he saw him naked.
I'm
I tell you what. Listen,
I
if that's the case,
more about his physique than his,
if that's the case, Steve Gleason has to have the dong of all dongs.
That's right. That's right.
I wonder if is Westhoff like a butt man or is he like a leg man? Like what was it that like caught his eye? And he was like, Taysom, I gotta have that. I gotta get that guy on kickoffs right now.
I just like the way the water ran down his legs.
I mean, he gave it all too. He's like, I want you on kickoff. I want you returning kicks. I want you on punt block. I want you as the punt protector. I mean, he was ready to give it all.
Yeah.
I want him at all positions, coach.
Westhoff was like, just take everything, Taysom. Just take it all.
I love that. I think we need to have that we need to have that woman on the podcast, and we need a good like 90 minutes with her. I need like minute details, like 30 for 30, but like 4 hours on it.
Ralph needs to know how many pubes.
The thing is, when I heard that story, I immediately thought of this podcast, and I was like, if there's ever been a topic that was made for us, it was just like the most perfect story.
Why haven't we talked about this before? How long have you known this story?
We just found out about it. Like Friday.
I was saving this for you, Dave. I specifically did not mention it on the Daily Show because I wanted all of you guys to experience it.
This is fucking.
That's perfect.
It is.
Yeah,
Thank you.
And the thing is, the thing is to me is like Westhoff. He's been coaching in the NFL for like 35 years. Do you know how many naked men he's seen? And Taysom was the one. Taysom was the one that caught his eye. Like
that's what's crazy is like it's not like Taysom is like in a locker room full of like little people. I mean, like he's a football player. I mean, they're all pretty well built. I mean,
best
like,
of the best.
It's specifically about Taysom that makes him stand out among men, a man among men.
You gotta see him naked to know, Dave.
Well, God, now I'm dying to find
Somebody
out.
in the chat room says giant hairy balls.
For science.
For science.
Yes, sports science.
By the way, I took my wife to the game.
My wife.
Yes.
My wife.
Right as like the game starts, she's like,
Brady just got smoked.
She's like, who is that number 40 something with all that hair? And I'm like, oh, that's Anzalone. She was like, it's crazy. It's not just long. It's like so silky and smooth.
It's like a hair commercial. It's like a Vidal Sassoon come to life.
Yeah.
Poor Anzalone. He got pushed out by Alexander, although Alexander got hurt. So Anzalone.
Go Tigers.
Whatever. He's still getting a paycheck, isn't he?
But here's the thing that I also wanted to talk about. Jenkins, Janoris Jenkins had one interception. He would have had a second interception, but the dude pulled his hair. Now, I know it's legal, but just because it's legal doesn't mean it's, like, ethical. Is, like, yanking a dude's braids, is that, like, on the up and up? Are we cool with that? Is it because it's legal? I feel like
I didn't see it on TV. Was it like blatant? Like he did it?
Like he grabbed like four of those fucking
happened to
braids
grab
and
them.
yanked it like it was. He yanked it like it was a horse. Like
I think Jenkins, just for the record, was starting to drop the ball before the braids got pulled. I think it was going to be a drop either way.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I feel like that's dirt. I feel like it's legal, but it's dirty pool.
Dude, I don't know, man. You're playing football, like that's a known risk. You having, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's a violent sport. Like I don't know. Ethics. This isn't baseball. You know. This isn't like
unwritten rules.
You've insulted me because you flipped your bat or some shit. This isn't tennis.
Gladiators.
I mean, If your hair's like that, it's fair game. And look, like, no judgment. Like, he's got great hair. It's cool. It looks cool flapping out behind his helmet. But if you're gonna wear your hair like that, that's the risk you take playing football. You're sorry. So I actually don't blame the guy for pulling his hair at all.
Yeah.
By the way, I just Googled Taysom Hill naked for science, and the top result is that YouTube video. Seeing Taysom Hill naked started the movement.
That's right.
How did a special teams coach seeing Taysom Hill naked in the New Orleans Saints locker room naked create the Taysom Hill? And then
for a second, I thought you were gonna say you Google imaged it, and the first picture that came up was Matt Ryan in the bra.
No. I thought you were gonna say, I thought you were gonna say it like sent you to MormonManhood.com or something like. But this
Ralph knows that site.
I know that site. I mean, it's bookmarked. Listen, where do you think the podcast money goes?
What is this? This is Marcus G joins Anita Marks. What is this podcast?
She did a show with Westhoff, and he was retired, and Sean Payton called him up and was like, my special teams are a disaster. You got to get down here. We can win a Super Bowl. And he was like, Sean, I walk with a fucking cane. And Sean Payton was like, I don't care. Get your old ass down here, your 2-pack-a-day cigarette motherfucking smoking ass down here, and coach my special teams. Because that was in 2017, where the special teams were fucking Andrew. Weren't they like a train wreck the first 6 weeks?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah. And Sean Payton was like, this is going to fucking sink us. I got to get it fixed. And Westhoff, not only does he have an eye for what a good Mormon man looks like he's a brilliant special teams coach. Like, if you listed the greatest special teams coaches in NFL history, he'd be on the list. But I don't care about that. All I care about is that he saw Taysom Hill naked and was fully
I just got to say, like, I know this is not on topic, but I'm watching this Bucs game, and just once again, Tom Brady, like, I just saw him get a tuck rule again, the second one. I mean, that is a fumble. Any quarterback in the league, if it were the Saints, they probably would have called a fumble twice. It was such an obvious fumble. And yet they call an incomplete pass, and it's one of the most egregious. They had the chance to review it too, man. Like, how do you get that call wrong? It just makes me sick how much Tampa and Tom Brady get calls like that. Makes me sick.
Yeah, I mean, Kevin, we've sort of seen this from the Saints especially the last 3 years. They sort of start out. They're sort of early in the year. They sort of cough and wheeze, but they win the games. Then they sort of hit their stride, and they hit their Death Star mode for 4 or 5 weeks, and then they sort of peter out, and it goes bad in the playoffs, and they aren't playing as well as they were in the sort of this area. Of what you've seen of them this year, do you have any sense that this year might be different? Is it the same old thing, or you don't know yet? Because I thought that was an interesting point on Twitter, that we've sort of seen this exact season the last 3 years.
Right, but the defense hasn't been like this. Like, you put this defense on any of those early 2010 teams, and they're all making the playoffs.
Well, yeah, for sure.
Like the 2011 team is winning the Super Bowl. You put this defense during that stretch when they were constantly going 7-9, they're winning 2 or 3 more games. They're in playoff contention. Like, this defense has been the difference. And I can't believe I'm fucking saying that.
I know. Here's the thing that
crazy.
This is the thing, Dave, that gets me real excited about this defense is I think this defense, we were worried about the pass rush, and rightfully so, when they didn't have Marcus 2 first. And by the way, somebody on Twitter said, Marcus Davenport is playing so good we can't call him Marcus 2 First anymore. But Trey Hendrickson, he's playing so awesome and is going to get $100 million. Do we call him future third round compensatory?
I like that.
But here's my question, Dave. Is the thing that has me so excited about this defense is not necessarily that it's better than 2018, because 2018's defense at the end was awesome, and last year their defense was really good while Teddy was playing. They had that great game against Dallas. The thing that has me so excited is I look around the NFC and I see Seattle, trash defense. Green Bay, trash defense. Tampa, the Saints crush them. The Rams defense, I think it could give the Saints problems, but it's not like intimidating. I think for the first time in the Sean Payton era, I think the Saints have the best defense in the NFC, which is bananas, and that's why I'm potentially excited.
Maybe the Bears, right?
Yeah, but the Bears are a tragedy on offense, so they're not a playoff team. So like of the playoff teams, the Saints have the best defense.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep, you could make that argument.
Right now they definitely do.
By the way, I'm and I believe Andrew is also. We didn't discuss this at the top of the show, but we are drinking our last Tears of a Falcon, with very apropos, of course, for tonight's podcast. I gotta say, it tastes delicious.
Special shout out to Nick.
Nick
for making these. This is my last as well. And,
Nick, my wife called it the best beer she's ever had. I had one of them for the podcast last week. My wife drank the rest of them. They're gone. She
liked them?
She loved it. It was the hibiscus. She just thought it was amazing. She's like, I know I can't get it anywhere else because it's home brewed, but like, what is like the equivalent of it that I could buy? And I'm like, I have no idea.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
I don't think I wouldn't even know what to recommend.
I can't wait for what Nick cooks up for us next. But I gotta say, I never thought that we would have a podcast beer.
A podcast beer. He went all out. He had the logos, the sticker. It was amazing.
It was damn cool.
By the way, celebrating the Taysom Hill looking amazing and just laughing at the nerds and the haters, we are running, if you sign up annually before midnight on Wednesday, you get 2 months fucking free. That is an amazing deal. You get 2 months free and you get the booze bundle. That's like 3 months free. You need to sign up. And oh, by the way, you people in Malta, you need to get on the ball. We were 11 in Malta today.
Ooh.
That is
out of the top 10.
That is disgraceful.
That's going to change this week after Taysom's performance. Everybody's going to want to listen into this podcast after that.
I mean,
hopefully so.
God, I hate to hear that. I hate to hear that.
Can we talk for a second about the fact that the Saints house the Falcons? Can we?
Yeah, I mean, the thing that was great about that, and it might be a little late, but you could still do it. Like when the Saints beat the Falcons, I always like go. I don't know what you call it, like, but I like go to the Falcoholic and Falcons Twitter, and you
call that going to the Falcoholic? That's what you call that?
Well, no, there's a word for it, like
trolling.
Hate. Well, I wasn't trolling. I wasn't really interacting with them.
Hate reading.
Yeah, like hate reading. Like, but here's the thing. Like, the thing that I think Saints fans, that if you didn't hate read and you didn't like go to the Falcoholic today, you might not have realized, because you were like, they were 3-6. Like, they didn't have high expectations. Like, the Saints just kicked them in the face, and they're 3-7, and they have an interim coach and whatever. Like, they weren't expecting it. But a lot of Falcons fans, they were like going into this game. They're like, we have a week off. We're 3-1 in our last 4. Our defense is playing better. We're gonna score on the Saints because we're scoring a ton.
They thought they were hot shit.
They thought they were gonna win, and like maybe this would be the beginning of the push for Raheem Morris to be made the permanent coach, or at the very least, like beat the Saints and make their season. And they got their fucking teeth kicked in, and they were despondent, and I drank all those tears, and I recommend you do it too. Like, go to the Falcoholic, go to their Twitter. Like, it was glorious. They were like stunned that their offensive line collapsed like a cheap suit.
It really felt like just like a bridge with a freight train on it. It just collapsed under its own weight. Their offensive line had no answer. And I said this on the post game, but it's not even just like Cam Jordan dominating a shitty right tackle, whatever, or Onyemata looking good against a guard that couldn't block him. I mean, it was also Trey Hendrickson dominating Jake Matthews, their Pro Bowl left tackle. I mean, they had no answer for any of the Saints pass rushers.
Kevin, is it more fun? Is it more fun when your defense gets a shit ton of turnovers, or when your defense just beats the opposing quarterback into the ground to the point where he's shook? What's more fun to watch defensively?
You might need to unmute yourself, Kevin.
You might. Dave, you can go ahead and answer.
How's that?
That's better, Dave.
Better.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
That good? All right. Yes. Yeah. I like both. Options. If I had to choose one, I suppose I'd rather watch the defense absolutely pummel the opposing quarterback into submission. We're assuming all things are equal in that the offense is taking care of business either way.
Yeah.
So yeah. I mean, if you're telling me that I could feasibly watch the Saints pound Patrick Mahomes into dirt or pound Roethlisberger into the fucking ground, I'll sign up for that all the time. I'll gladly sign up for that.
Was watching Matt Ryan get sacked 8 times, was that as enjoyable as shit kicking Brady on national TV?
They were both so great.
Yeah,
that's a Gordian knot right there.
That's a Sophie's choice.
Yeah, that's actually better.
That's a good question.
Man, I don't know what I was gonna say before you asked me that question. When you asked Kevin, it's just that it's nice that this is becoming a trend.
It is.
We're playing your favorite opposing team, and the fans they're like, what the fuck is going on? What's happening to our team? We were good last week, and now we're playing the Saints, and all of a sudden we're terrible. So that's a good trend. I like to see that. But Brady I think Brady. I think I just hate Brady more than Matt Ryan. I've never really been able to hate Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan, in all the years he's played for the Falcons and all the games he's played against the Saints, I don't really have very many memories of him, being a Saints killer, of doing something crazy or pulling a rabbit out of a hat or a last-minute comeback. Or I'm sure that I'm sure at some point something like that has happened, and he's had good games. But he has, to me, and I don't have the memory that you
talking about Brady?
No, I'm talking about
Matt Ryan.
I don't have the memory that you two guys have, but I don't ever remember him ever really.
No, he's
had some good games against.
He's
the
had
Saints.
some good games, but he's never had like a 90-yard drive to like rip the Saints' heart out. I don't.
But he's never like
Yes,
like
he has.
okay.
When was that?
I mean, Sean Payton is 20-9 against Matt Ryan. So
Yeah,
he's
but,
lost 9 games. There's been some heartbreakers.
There's been some. I don't know. I don't.
But I mean, you remember when Matt Bryant was the kicker for them, and he was like, 60 for 60 in his lifetime against the Saints?
What does that have to do with Matt Ryan?
Oh, Matt
But
Bryant.
But I'm just saying, Matt Ryan would bring him down, and he would set up the game-winning field goal, and Matt Bryant would make it.
Matt Bryant
but
was a fat
we talk
son of a
about
bitch.
we talk about Cam Jordan owning Matt Ryan and being a Falcons killer. I wouldn't call Matt Ryan a Saints killer.
No,
he's never done.
No.
He's 9-20 or whatever it is against the Saints.
Yeah.
He has a. I mean, we have his number way more than.
Cam Newton is way more of a Saints killer than Matt Ryan ever was.
Definitely.
All right.
Agreed.
So before we get to the hotline, which is just this week this week is amazing. The unedited one, which the patrons will get tomorrow too. It's pretty wild. Like, you people.
I just want to say for the record, while Cam Newton is a better Saints killer than Matt Ryan, he forfeited his right to ever be called a Saints killer when he got triple sweeped. I just want to say that.
That's true. So
swept. I think it's triple swept.
Sorry. Yes. That too.
The hotline.
These Tears of a Falcon are really getting to me, Dave.
This hotline. If you have kids in the car, you may want to turn this down.
You should. Because you shouldn't have been listening to this podcast.
Yeah, you shouldn't have been listening to this podcast in the first place.
Yeah, probably not. What's wrong with
the hotline gets a little X-rated, even by our standards. So just be forewarned. But we do have a female caller for the first time, which Dave's been asking for.
I noticed that. Thank you.
So here it is, the best of the Saints Happy Hour. The best of the Saints Happy Hour hotline, Week 11. It's time for this week's hottest takes from the Saints Happy Hour hotline.
I just want to conduct a search party for Sean Payton's balls because his ambush and flea flicker and challenge flag reigning days are over, and he's now the guy who bent over for Goodell and doesn't trust his future Hall of Fame quarterback to get 8 yards with the game on the line.
As we've learned with anything in 2020, it's all just a bunch of horse shit. So fuck it. That's it. That's the voicemail. That's it. Play me on the show. Or don't play me on the show. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, this is Chris from Gretna. I'm sitting here many hours after the game, and I'm just thinking, how glorious is it that not only did the Saints defense destroy any semblance of the offensive line for the Falcons and beat Matt Ryan into the ground, but they did it also making the stat nerds lose their fucking minds as Taysom Hill effectively climbed pockets, made good throws, pinpoint, ran at the right times. Look, I had doubts too, like everyone else. But when we're all going to learn, especially you stat nerds, that man, Taysom Hill, he can eat a Rubik's Cube and shit that motherfucker out solved. Who that?
And I just wanted to say, first of all, who fucking dat? Secondly, fuck Robbie White, that motherfucking piece of shit.
Robbie White can eat shit!
Taysom Hill is fucking God. Fuck the analytics nerds. They're probably all going to go take cyanide pills and hang them fucking selves today. Because Taysom looks
Nick
great.
Wright.
We got the best defense in the NFL.
Fuck all those motherfuckers that said that Taysom Hill couldn't start.
Nick Wright can eat a bag of dog shit. And by the way, the Saints are the number one fucking seed in the NFC.
Except their blue check marks taken away.
That's
fucking
right.
Idiot.
And fuck Atlanta. Don't forget fuck Atlanta.
Yeah, fuck Atlanta. Fuck Matt Ryan. Fuck Raheem Morris. Fuck Julio. Fuck Robert Blank or Arthur Blank, whatever his name is. Doesn't matter. All they do is lose. Fuck all of them.
Yeah, we just went there with Taysom and blew him fucking out. Left at least 17 points on the field.
Like everybody wants to talk shit about how bad Taysom is. Who is the better quarterback today? Oh, Taysom. What happened to Matt Ryan? Did he miss the flight?
All right, who dat? Bye-bye.
Branding girl
you were
here.
editing these.
Who dat? I am here for the petty Payton. Fuck Roddy White. Matty Ice needs some ice for his ass because his ass was roasted all day long. It is a great day to be a Saints fan, and anytime we can show off against the Falcons is a good damn day. Who dat, baby?
Boy, old Roddy White, man, this guy is great. Tweets out all week
This one
long
gets a little
talking all
long-winded.
kinds of shit. Puts a great tweet out there saying he's going to talk all kinds of shit after the Falcons beat the Saints on Sunday. Boy, let me tell you something, Roderick. That tweet
This guy has much
aged
better
like
audio
a bag of milk left on the school asphalt over the summer. Okay? And Mike Tanier or Tanier, whatever the hell your last name is, guy I've never fucking heard of before until this weekend, you can go fuck off too. We can load you, we can load Roddy, we can load every statistician, every dork onto the same rocket ship that we're flying right to the fucking sun because Taysom Hill fucking delivered. Oh, where? He only did it against arguably the worst defense in the league. Where? It was a masterful plan. Motherfucker, it don't matter what the plan is if you don't have somebody that can fucking execute it and get the job done. And Taysom Hill got the job done on Sunday, outplaying a former MVP quarterback. All y'all can go get fucked.
Yeah, boy. All you Taysom Hill haters can suck a fucking fat one, boy. Let's go. Who that, baby? Taysom. His dick is raw as fuck right now. He just pounded his wife so fucking hard.
I'm going to fall asleep tonight with the thought
Was that Mike Westhoff?
Curled up, crying, just weeping, just crying, just tears down, soaking his pillow, moaning with the pain of what has happened to him today. Oh my God. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm blowing you guys up today. Just recently moved my girlfriend out, so I'm able to just call whenever I want. And all I can say is this is the sloppiest, ugliest first half I've ever fucking seen in Saints history. But I don't know. This is a bad call. I shouldn't have made it. Gotta go.
He threw his girlfriend out so he could make as many calls as he wants to the Saints Happy Hour hotline, and then he immediately regretted the call that he made to the hotline.
My only complaint is that we don't get insulted enough, but
I know.
It's okay.
You can make insult. Dave asked me if I edited. Dave, the unedited one is like twice as long. Like people, we love it, but you got to keep it to like 45 seconds.
Where's our Brit caller? Where's our Maltese callers? We come on, guys.
The guy who called in and just said suck a big fat one. Who dat? I'm out of here. That's nice and concise and to the point. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, but you can get suck a fat one anywhere.
You don't like the profanity twins?
I love the profanity twins.
The profanity twins were great. Where are you gonna get bag of milk from?
Okay, I just want bag of milk. I don't want the rest of it. I don't want the rest of the shopping cart. I just want the bag of milk.
I mean,
are the Bucks gonna go for this 4th and short?
So,
yes.
So Andrew, you get in the Discord channel, and oh, by the way, patron, if you become a patron, you get access to the Discord channel. The Discord channel is amazing on game day, and we talk Saints 24/7 all day long, every day. It's amazing. You can ask us questions on the show. Andrew, you get in the Discord channel, and then we'll pull those up. But of course, when it's mailbag time, we got to do this. This is very controversial, though. They have a lot of people that hate this song. But we don't.
Why? Are there people with poor taste?
I know, right? It's amazing. This is from CJ. Kevin, is it wrong to drink eggnog daiquiris before Thanksgiving? Don't want to piss off the eggnog purists, a la the king cake purists who shame you to death. Thanks for taking my call. I'll hang up and listen.
Drink eggnog whenever the fuck you want. I mean, look, if you can somehow find eggnog in June and wanna drink eggnog in June, go nuts.
Dude, CJ, 2020 is a fucking 2020 is a dumpster fire. You do whatever you got to do to get you through the night, baby.
Exactly.
No, I'll start drinking eggnog maybe like the week before. I started drinking like last week, like the week before Thanksgiving. But it's not like king cake. King cake has a season. Like there's an official season that's like understood. There's no official eggnog season. You know, nobody says, okay, on King's Night you can start drinking eggnog. Like it doesn't work that way.
All right, so this is a question from me, from Enriquez. He says, it's Christmas morning. Would you, Ralph, given the choice of 3 gifts, which would you choose? A box, reliving the Shy Tuttle, stiff arm in German moment, bathing in the tears of nerds after every game Taysom wins, or C, First place article with Les East finishing second. Oh my God. That is hard choice. I think I'd have to go. I'm a selfish bastard, and I have a lot of pride. I want that first place certificate, man. I want to beat Les East. That's what I want. And my writing this year has not been my best. My best, I peaked in 2018, man. I was churning out the hits. This year, it's not my best.
You've got like 11 broken ribs.
Yeah.
You're writing with 11 broken ribs.
And
you need me editing for you again.
Dude,
not everyone can be first place like the Saints in the NFC, bro.
Mm-hmm.
This is from Chef Oubre, mostly for Juge, but wouldn't mind others. Why aren't more people comparing Taysom to Steve Young? I see a lot of similarities to them, both in game and life. Also, with sitting behind a Hall of Fame quarterback. Thoughts?
Well, Sean Payton's made that comparison already, so it's not new. I would say, I really think, and a lot of people try to make comps with Taysom. I really don't think there is one. I think he's a combination maybe
Tim
of
Tebow,
Cam Newton, and maybe Lamar Jackson, maybe. But he's not really. He's as fast. I mean, he's fast, but it's the power thing. The power thing we really haven't seen from a quarterback besides Cam Newton. But he's faster than Cam. I would say that Cam at his best is probably a better passer, but I don't know. That still remains to be seen.
Steve Young transitioned to, at the end of his career, being almost entirely a thrower. And he was churning out 70%
but
years
he never
in the mid-90s.
He never had the power that Taysom has as a runner. It's you can't. But off the field, totally. I mean, they both went to BYU and all that. So, but one's right-handed, one's left-handed. So, I think that's the deal, and I think that's why Sean Payton loves him so much. Is there's literally never been anyone like him. There is no comp for Taysom.
Well, what's Steve Young look like in a shower?
Now we're getting to the important stuff.
Show me Steve Young naked, and then I can give you a better assessment.
That's why Tim Tebow never panned out.
Can you bounce a quarter off Steve Young's ass? So, Andrew, what do we got in the Discord channel? Questions.
All right, let's take a look here. Davenport has played well enough that we can't call him 2 firsts anymore. Oh, yeah. Well, this was like, can we call Hendrickson future third? I guess we talked about that already.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I love that.
Jason Champagne wants to know, is it reasonable that I've spent considerable time this evening trying to convince myself that Jameis 1 of 1 is Tampa GM Jason Licht?
Taysom Jameis 1 of 1. That dude,
Taysom 1 of 1.
He's not. He's a great guy. He was a great guest on the show. But I'm just gonna say it. He is like full on conspiracy level dude. Like,
well, he tweeted today. He thought that if Jameis put up the same numbers as Taysom, that the media would only be talking about how good the defense played and how he missed those throws, the five misses, and how he fumbled the ball.
Yeah.
Well, that's what they're saying about Taysom. So
I completely disagree with that, and I told him so. He's so like poisoned by the Tampa media. The national media, part of the reason they're mad about Sean Payton playing Taysom is they wanted their Jameis redemption story narrative arc to play out, and they didn't get it because it's Taysom time, and it's going to be Taysom time the next 3 weeks at least. So continue with the questions, Andrew.
No, that's a good point. The Jameis arm thing fits in nicely with the Breeze arm decline too. So that's that fits nicely in that narrative. But Nick wants to know the best way to improve Taysom's ball security on runs. Is it spending a week of practice with the running backs doing hand drills, or risking league fines to cover him and stick him like they used to do in the 70s?
I go with B.
I mean,
Fuck it.
when does the ball security, Andrew, since you're a tape watching guy, when does the ball security become a problem that endangers his continuing to start for the Saints?
I don't think it will, because ball security is an issue for Taysom as well. I think as long as he's mitigating any mistakes he makes by making plays, I think he'll be okay. I mean, obviously you want him to clean that up, and you want him to not have turnovers. Ideally, you don't want him to have a single turnover in the whole game. But if as long as he's continuing to make plays, I think that's the key for him. Is he needs if he's not making plays on the field, if he's not playing well and he's turning the ball over, that's when it becomes a problem.
Yeah. All right. Is that all? Is that all of our?
Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah.
All right. All right, gentlemen. So it's time for our the Saints. They go to Denver. They are a 6.5-point favorite against the 4-6 Denver Broncos. The Broncos just beat the Miami Dolphins 20-13. Their defense played so well. They got Tua benched. The Dolphins turned to Fitzmagic to try to save them. So
that's a true story.
It is a true story. So Dave, I'll start with you. Give me a prediction for the Saints Broncos, and then tell me your.
They won't even bring him to camp. He looks like a star of the day for the Saints.
Yeah, that was low because you left it low.
Yeah.
When you changed over to the song. Good job.
They won't even bring him to
I didn't
camp.
know we were.
He looks like a star of the day for the
I didn't know we were. I didn't know we were going right into predictions. I wanted to talk about.
All right, we'll talk about what you want to talk about.
I wanted to talk about Junior Galette.
Yes. Let's roast that motherfucker.
Throwing shade at Trey Hendrickson. Did you guys see that?
I did not.
No.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Oh, well, good. I'm Andrew. You know, you brought me the beautiful Taysom Hill naked story. So let me offer you. Yeah, let me offer you this in exchange. Our old friend Junior Galette took to Twitter today. Ralph, did you hear?
I did not. I have not heard this at all.
Oh, wow! I got the two Twitter addicts.
You do.
There's a hole in your game.
It is.
Anyway, Junior Galette retweeted like an NFL.com tweet or something that had the list of the sack leaders and had Trey Hendrickson on there, of course, and Junior Galette quote tweeted and said coverage sacks. Like he wanted to make sure it was known that Trey Hendrickson is only getting these sacks because the secondary is playing better.
I hope Saints Twitter ratio him.
Yeah, not because he's a dominant force on the line or anything. I mean, Galette is he's a fucking loser. He's like the real life Al Bundy or like Uncle Rico. like you used to be good, dude. Okay, maybe once upon a time, maybe you used to be good, but you're living in the past, Galette. You are living in the past. You are fucking irrelevant. Okay, and it's pathetic. It's a pathetic look when you are trying to call players out who are actually doing something in this league when you're not doing shit. It's a bad look. You're fucking pathetic.
Terrible.
Go back, crawl into your hole, and get the fuck out of here.
You know, based on how he searches his name on Twitter and comes at people that write about him, even when they don't at him, Dave, I have a feeling that soundbite on this podcast is going to find him, and he's going to be like that guy in Billy Madison that has that list, you know, and he circles names and then puts lipstick on, you know? You remember that dude in Billy Madison?
Mm-hmm. Steve Buscemi.
Yeah, it's going to be like that. Like
he's going to find me
on the top of Junior Galette's list, and he's circling Dave Cariello.
No,
he's gonna come find you.
Yeah.
No, I tell you what. Dave. Allow me to try and leapfrog Dave on this. Hey, Junior, remember when you became a nationwide laughingstock and were regarded as a supreme asshole for whipping out a belt and whipping human beings on a public beach, and it was photographed and filmed? Remember that? Or how about you remember the time you went to the Washington Redskins and acted like you were some hot fucking shit because you got signed by a team owned and operated by Daniel fucking Snyder, a guy who hasn't met $100 bill he didn't enjoy torching? Or when you talked all kinds of shit when the Redskins were going to play the Saints and you ended up doing absolutely dick in that game?
Dave, by the way, with that whole beach thing with the belts, he uncovered that case. That was him. Junior, just so you know, the guy that exposed you, that was Dave Carey.
It was, I mean, that's the gold standard for Saints investigative journalism until the CD Deuce mouthpiece escapade.
Oh yeah, Evan Sachs.
Yeah. So all right, Dave, thanks for bringing it. I didn't see that all day. I actually had to do work today because I'm taking the rest of the week off. So I had to do actual work today, so I wasn't able to spend my normal 6 hours on Twitter.
That sounds miserable.
It was miserable. I did my morning hit with.
He had to settle for 4.5 hours.
Yeah, I did only 4.5, and I missed critical Saints news. But back to Saints Broncos.
All right. Are we doing? I'm asking too. Are we doing the Thanksgiving thing after this, or are we scrapping that?
We're scrapping that.
Scrap that.
Oh, I had some good ones.
Scrap.
Oh, I had some good ones. All right. So Denver, obviously, they're fucking terrible. Drew Lock is terrible. I don't know. It's in Denver, right? So maybe the altitude. We need to worry about the altitude.
Yep.
Other than that, I think as long as the Saints, I see no reason. They're on their hot streak. They're playing well. I'm not going to. I'm not going to doubt them. I'm going to say Saints 35, Broncos 17, and I'm just going to stick. I don't know whether he's going to play next week. I know he was injured. Deontay Harris, if he plays, I'm going to pick Deontay Harris. Pick punt return, kick return. If Deontay Harris doesn't play, I'm going to go with Marquez Callaway, punt return, kick return.
When was the last time the Saints ran a punt back in a game? Well, no, it was Seattle last year.
It was Deontay.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, somebody just pointed out that we forgot to play this soundbite to rip Taysom for all his fumbles.
Horseshit ball carrying, I know that. Horseshit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He blew that.
Missed opportunity. Andrew
Ralph,
or Kevin.
I'm curious. Yeah, I'm curious, Ralph, if you're gonna nut up because you were telling me off air. You were like, the Saints fuck up a game. They do it every year.
We'll get to me.
One game where they play.
All right. Well then,
I want to see if you're gonna nut up on this show in front of everyone.
Well, I am. I guess you put me on the spot. I was going to go to Kevin and then you, and then I would go last. But I'll just say it. Listen, the Saints have not played a bad game this year, where they have not had their what the fuck is going on game yet. I know they almost lost to the Chargers. That was kind of like that. The Raiders ended up not being that bad. The Raiders are actually good. The Detroit game, it wasn't really good. They are due for a what the fuck game. Now I cannot give you actual facts and reasons why Denver is going to win this game because Denver is awful. And they scored 20 points last week. They ran for 190 yards, and Drew Lock barely completed half his passes when literally every time he handed off, a Broncos running back was running for 6 yards. So I cannot make the case that Denver is going to win this game on facts or statistics or anything. All I can just tell you is this game is going to get fucking weird, and we're going to look up, and Denver's going to be banging in like a 55-yard field goal at the gun to win that shit, and we're going to be like, God damn it, Saints. You may have just fucked up getting the number 1 seed in the NFC because you lost to Drew goddamn Lock. And that's my prediction. Denver 23, Saints 20, and there won't be any star of the day. It'll just be
horseshit ball carrying, I know that. Horseshit.
That's what it'll be. So Denver's going to win. How about that? So Kevin, who do you got?
I have Saints 24, Denver 20.
Ooh.
I have Taysom doing getting the triple crown I have Taysom throwing a touchdown pass. I have Taysom running a touchdown. I have Taysom catching a touchdown.
Kamara or Jameis? Who's throwing? Who's throwing to Taysom? Kamara or Jameis?
I'll say Kamara. Well, I mean, shit, I'm already saying he's scoring 3 different ways. I'll say Kamara.
I like that. Yeah.
I'll let you have it if Jameis throws.
Yeah, if Jameis throws it, I'll allow it.
All right, thanks.
I'm calling for a blowout. Saints 34, Denver 10. This is one of those games, Ralph. You know where Sean Payton every year he talks about how when you kind of get towards the middle second half of the season, and you're playing these teams, and it's that point in the season where if you can get up on teams that are kind of out of contention early, they kind of go away. And this is where the good teams separate themselves from teams that aren't really playing for anything. And I think this is going to be one of those days. I think the Saints are going to get up on them early. They're going to start fast, which they have not done much this year. The Saints typically start really slow. They've done it all year, but I'm going to say 34-10. The Broncos did win, and they looked good against Denver, but I think a lot of that was that they ran for 190 yards, and I can promise you that's not going to happen against the Saints.
The one interesting thing about this game, too, is that they had a great game plan against Tua, and they sort of challenged him to throw the ball to the sidelines and intermediate routes, and he just could not do it. And Vic Fangio, he's a really mediocre head coach, but that old dude, he can scheme up some defense. So I think this will be a really interesting moment for Taysom to see how he reacts when a team sort of has some film and they know, like Sean Payton tried to play coy again and was like, we don't make big announcements around here, but everybody knows it's Taysom again Sunday. So Denver's going to prepare accordingly. So it'll be interesting what they have. But I hope I'm wrong and you people can laugh at me. But I think the Saints are gonna shit the bed. You know.
I don't take into account shit. All I take into account is they kicked our ass today. That's what I take into
Ralph,
account.
your microphone. Don't even say another word. Seriously,
Yeah.
I might take this out because your microphone is so terrible.
Seriously, because it sounded like there was 8-bit music playing in the background while he was talking, like his kids playing the Nintendo in the background.
So that's it for the show.
Wait, Ralph, say something.
Say something? What?
Oh, never mind.
Yeah, there we go. Is someone playing Rygar in your house, for Christ's sake?
No.
I have one final point I wanted to make.
Martians have infiltrated Ralph's microphone.
It never came up during the show. The Joe Burrow injury. Obviously, I think we all think it sucks. Obviously, I think we all have an affinity for Joe Burrow, being an LSU guy. Even me, in a way, I guess. But what does this have to do with the Saints? It got me to thinking, you know, the Cincinnati, they totally fucked that whole situation up. I mean, they let him go out there and they let him get his ass kicked, and I hate that Joe Burrow has to be the casualty in this situation, but the Bengals got what they fucking asked for by doing it this way. And regardless of whether it's Taysom Hill next year, regardless of whether it's Jameis Winston next year, it might even be somebody we don't even know. We haven't even thought about. It could be a guy like Fitzpatrick. It could be a rookie quarterback. But I feel after Sunday and after the Joe Burrow injury and the Saints game, I take solace in the fact that whoever it is next year, the Saints have been smart enough to build a solid team around whoever the next quarterback is going to be. Whoever the next quarterback is going to be that comes into this situation, they're going to have a decent O-line, and they're going to have weapons at running back and wide receiver, and they're going to have a good defense who's going to help them on the other side of the ball. And that's, if there's any big picture lesson that I think anybody could take from Sunday's games, both the Bengals games and the Saints games, it's that have no fear, Saints fans, because whatever happens next season, at the quarterback position, I think everything will be okay, and they've put themselves in the best possible position to succeed post Drew Brees.
Well said, Dave. All right, Who Dat, thanks for joining us. Saints beat the Falcons. Great win. For Kevin, for Dave, and for Robo Ralph.
Play the Malta music.
The bar is closed. No, he's supposed to play